Happy Wednesday. It's time for Coffee and Conversation with Jennifer, Simplicity Coach. And I want to remind you that organizing is not complicated, time is sacred, and money is a renewable resource. So happy Wednesday. And coming at you on the new Facebook page. So if you are on the old page, just make sure you come over here. And this is where the rest of them will be from here on out. So keeping it all organized. The topic for today is action and reaction. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And how does that apply to organizing and simplifying? Well, think about this. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So every yes that you utter and commit to is going to have an equal and opposite reaction on how much time you have available for something else. So it's important that we think of time like currency. We know how to spend money, but we're not very good at spending time. And just like I say when I open up, time is sacred and money is renewable. They print money every day, so you don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to run out of money or the world's going to run out of money. It won't. So if we are so worried about how we spend our money, then it makes more sense for us to be just as worried, if not more worried, about how we spend our time. And so every yes that we commit to is taking up space, taking up time, space, time, money, time, currency. And so for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So let's say you wanted to go on a walk every weekend, but if you commit to some other thing, or you keep saying yes to invitations to go hang out on a Friday night, for example, and then you find that you don't have energy to go on a walk on Saturday mornings, the yes to Friday is having an equal and opposite reaction effect on your Saturday. I'll also use the example of buying things. So when we buy something, that's an action, and it has an equal and opposite reaction, and that typically is less space. So every time we buy something, we have less money and less space. And it's really important. Organizing is not an extremely complicated process. Just like I say, organizing isn't complicated. But if you don't look at how things are coming in to the equation, then you may or may not ever get organized, because that's so much a part of it. It's having a home that's organized, but also keeping an eye on where things are coming from. So if every time you're buying something, then you're having less space, less freedom, less space in your home, less freedom in your money, in your credit card, in your bank account, whatever that might be. And so really asking yourself the question of, do I really need this? Do I really want this? Why do I want this? Can I borrow this? Can I get by without it? Really looking at the meaning behind why you want something. Wanting things is not bad, but we're very used to pulling the trigger and buying quickly and it showing up quickly, that it's a really great practice, even in mindfulness, to slow down the purchasing action. So you might be slowing down the decision to buy, and then even slowing down the purchasing action, because for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So let's say you're wanting to organize your garage this weekend, and you talk to your family or your husband and you say, hey, I want to get things organized. And then you guys get organized, or you start getting organized, you're letting things go, and he says something and it hurts your feelings, and then you fly off the handle because he triggered that part of you that knows that you have too much. You're really trying hard to get rid of things. You just feel overwhelmed, and whatever he said really just cut to the core of the feelings of having too much. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if he said something and now you're triggered and you're upset and you yell at him, so that's not helpful, you're not helping, blah, blah, blah. The opposite reaction is you're kind of making or getting organized worse, and you're driving a bit of a wedge between you and your partner, or it could be your kids, on what it means to live with less, what it means to live a simple life, because you kind of flew off the handle. So another really great tip in mindfulness is to expand time. So really try and expand into the space from what a person said to your reaction to it. And you can just breathe into it. It's going to feel like 100 years, but it's probably going to be a minute, if that. But really expanding into that, and you might find that what you were going to say, is not really kind and helpful. It's not helpful. So instead you might say something else, if you say anything at all. So just keep in mind that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. When you're buying something, you're going to have less space in your home and in your bank account. And if you are trying to work on your relationship with stuff and get rid of things and simplify and create space in your home, and you're working with your family and they say something that hurts your feelings, just try and breathe into that space. It's all good. It is all good. And simplifying is a process. It takes time. There's no need to hurry it. We want to. It feels painful. But it's not like the Band-Aid. You don't need to rip it off. It's really not that bad. And just know that the decision is the hard part. I've said that time and time again. Making the decision as to whether or not you want something is the hard part. Okay, well, you guys have a great week, and I'll see you next week at 3 o'clock on the Facebook page. Wednesday at 3, yes. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.